Fair enough. That's a convincing
I'm
argument. I thought that was pretty good myself. Now, one of the cooler things I saw in your press, and I'm a thorough researcher. But
I couldn't spell my name right earlier, but that's okay. I got it.
We won't discuss that. So, one of the things I saw, you're working with golden retriever puppies, or so it says.
Yes.
To sniff out mealybugs in the vineyard. And I got to tell you, I read this and I thought, this guy's sitting around, he's got a winery in Napa, life is pretty good. And he thinks, well, how can I make my day better? Oh, I know, puppies. Puppies would make my day better. So how does this come about? How do you end up in something like this?
This was a great project. A group of us were in a meeting. And we had a problem, as you described, with the grapevine mealybug. And the mealybug, which is almost a microscopic little bug, and the dogs actually could care less about, has a very specific pheromone, a very specific smell. So what we decided to do is see if we could train a litter of dogs to key in on this scent. And the idea being that if we could eradicate the few vines that might be infected with the mealybug early enough, the way you might do with early detection of cancer cells, we could eradicate those few vines before the mealybug became a devastating problem to a vineyard. So we went to a group that trains dogs for service work, paraplegic and quadriplegic individuals, and asked them if they thought they could train dogs to do this. And they said, well, 80% of a dog's brain is devoted to scent. And they said, let's try it. So we had actually 2 litters, and the project worked great. It took about 2 years to get the dogs up and running in terms of the training to where they could actually run through a vineyard and detect the mealybug's presence. And then we could go out with these little sight glasses, determine where the bug was specifically, eradicate those few vines. And it was a wonderful project. And again, I think it shows farmers going outside of the box in essence, like looking for alternatives and thinking about a project, or thinking about a problem and coming up with a solution other than just let's pick up this chemical box and kill everything out there.
We are certainly pretty far outside of the chemical box at that point.
Pretty much so.
It's a neat concept.
It was great, and the dogs were beautiful, and it was a great story, and it was a wonderful project, and it worked ultimately, which was the benefit that we were trying to achieve.
So let's talk about achievement for a second. You're in Napa. Napa's,
yes.
Everybody associates with big blockbuster Cabernets, and you make Cabernet,
mm-hmm.
but your name is more synonymous with Sauvignon Blanc. And tell us how that comes about, and what you feel Napa has to offer for Sauvignon Blanc, particularly what makes Honig what it is.
Well, you're absolutely right. Cabernet is the king. And if there's a queen in Napa Valley, it's traditionally been Chardonnay. But if you look historically, Sauvignon Blanc, which is obviously a white wine, and a red grape, Cabernet Franc, were crossed together in France years ago, and the outcome was Cabernet Sauvignon. So these wines being Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet Sauvignon, are actually related to one another. So they're ideally to be grown in our area of Rutherford, which is kind of the middle of the valley and world renowned for growing Bordeaux varietals. When we started making wine in 1980, the decision was let's focus on only the grapes we've always grown. And we started with Sauvignon Blanc because at the time no one was making Sauvignon Blanc. I mean, people were making it kind of as a second or third tier wine. It was like we call it a cash flow wine. It was like get it in the bottle as quickly as you possibly could to pay for something else. So we said let's focus on Sauvignon Blanc. No one's doing it. Start with that. And it was a total bomb. It was probably a terrible decision because you have to remember this is back in the early and mid 80s. When it was all about Chardonnay. Everyone wanted Napa Chardonnay. So we came out with our here we have a Sauvignon Blanc from Rutherford. People look at the way you just looked at me. It's like, why the hell are you making Sauvignon Blanc in Cabernet country? My argument was, look, you're going to have 1 or 2 on your list. You're going to have a few on your shelf. Doesn't it make sense to work with someone who's putting all of their energy in this one varietal? And that resonated with people, and it started our slowly getting things going. And then 20 years ago, we did branch into Cabernet, which was always the intent, and those are the 2 varietals we make. So there's a long history to Sauvignon Blanc in our area. Unfortunately, because of economics and the price of this wine, which is roughly $16 on a shelf versus the Cabernet that could be $160, most people have pulled out their Sauvignon Blanc. There's just very little left in Rutherford. That being said, there's been a trend, and probably because of the New Zealanders who've helped this along the last 10 years, in terms of getting the American public thinking about Sauvignon Blanc again. So actually, I contend that in the next 10 years, that Napa Valley, my part of Napa, not the Carneros district, but the Up Valley portion of Napa Valley is really going to be known as Cabernet is king, Sauvignon Blanc's the queen. Because it really is more suited for so many parts of the Napa Valley.
Where does this leave Chardonnay?
Who cares?
In the whole Royal
I
scheme?
don't care. We have a hat.
I thought I just wanted to extend.
We have a hat at the winery that says "Friends don't let friends drink Chardonnay."
Oh,
Why the hell would
well, we won't go there.
I know. All of my friends that make Chardonnay are going to be very upset when they see this video.
We've covered that topic earlier.
Yeah.
But so what am I looking for specifically in Honig?
This is a traditional Napa Sauvignon Blanc in the sense that we can get the fruit very ripe. Napa's a warmer climate, and think about, again, back to the analogy of what we're starting with, which is fruit. Use a banana as an analogy. Think about if you peel a banana when the ends are green and you bite into it. You know, it has chalky character, there's some sweetness, but you know it's a banana. But you know, if you let that banana sit on the sill, your windowsill, for 4 or 5 more days, that same piece of fruit has a completely different character. That's what we do with this wine, is we allow the grapes to sit on the vine a little bit longer than most. So we get a little bit riper, so a little bit more of the tropical side of the spectrum of Sauvignon Blanc. And if you start with Sauvignon Blanc on the spectrum, one end is what we call more the herbal, green, vegetal, I won't say it because I probably get edited anyway, herbaceous, vegetal, asparagus. Oh, I will say cat pea. That's another descriptor we use.
No, we can.
Cat pea's okay.
We're on the internet, which is better than
Oh,
cable.
cool.
You
That's
can
like,
say
we're
whatever
like Howard
you want.
Stern. Do it all.
Yeah.
So that's one side of the spectrum. Now, what we're doing is the other side of the spectrum. So when you smell this, the aroma of this Sauvignon Blanc, you're going to get grapefruit and some acid that you might find with New Zealand, but there's a lot more richness of the tropical mango, kiwi, lemongrass, some peach, green apple, just a lot of aromas. And then when you taste this wine, because this is a non-oak version of the Sauvignon Blanc grape, this has, again, a very clean, refreshing character, a little lower in alcohol. It's a wonderful aperitif wine. Now, as I look out the window here, we're looking at the snow, so it's not necessarily a great aperitif.
We don't like to talk about where we are here in the Midwest for people who are in warmer
Oh, that
climates.
beautiful sunshine and the
yeah.
beach. I love the beach over there. How great.
It's
Look at
just
those bikinis.
nasty here. But you're making me thirsty.
Yeah.
So,
but no, again, it's some more tropical notes, non-oak, crisp, clean character. It's a wonderful as an aperitif. But the other thing about Sauvignon Blanc, and talk to any chef around the country, and they'll tell you they love Sauvignon Blanc typically because these wines pair with food versus overpowering. So where this wine is ideal for a scallop or a seafood or a lighter pasta dish or chicken, that can't always be said for some of these richer Chardonnay style wines.
Which is true, yeah. I have no arguments there. At this point, I just want to stop talking and start drinking. Plus, we're way out of time. I think this is going to be a multi-parter once we put this up online. So I hope everybody stuck around at this point till part 2. But I really want to thank you for coming out. It's been really interesting, and I mean that. We'll be back. You can, by the way, get Honig wines at internetwines.com, or if you're in this dreary St. Louis weather, you happen to be local, you can get it at your local Randall's. Michael, again, thanks. Until next time, this has been Wine Chat. Salute.
Thank you.